I hate to be one of those YouTubers like, I'm so nervous to make this video, but I am pretty nervous to make this video. One of the most common critiques of my bisexuality is why haven't you ever dated a guy? Or why aren't you going after guys? Why you seem to be behaving like a heterosexual. That's actually the exact wording that my therapist used a couple months back. Some things have happened this week that have got me thinking about this subject because there is an answer to why that is. From a psychoanalysis perspective, it's quite obvious. In fact, my main template for a man in a relationship is my dad, and I'll just leave it at that. Because that's a big part of it. I grew up mostly around other women and other girls. I felt more comfortable, more included around other girls, and I never really developed that many close male friendships, which is something you could say maybe I'm missing out, and maybe, yes, maybe I am missing out. It's just not something I ever have done well. Develop male relationships. When I was around 20, 21, realizing that I wasn't as straight as I thought I was, coming into my own with my sexuality, normally what happens is there's an exploration period. There's a period where you go out and you try things and you put yourself in new environments and you meet new people, and I did a lot of those things. I did all of those things. I did all those things also with the backdrop of being in early addiction recovery. And for those who don't know, dating while sober is so hard. Dating while sober is very, very hard. A lot of the queer spaces that I've entered have been either through things like Pride or things like gay clubs. There's a very celebratory and proud atmosphere, because of course there is, because this is a sect of the population where we have been put down for so many years, and we're finally taking that power back, and we're proud, and it's amazing. So there's this party atmosphere around. And for most people, when there's a party atmosphere, there's a drinking atmosphere. And for me, that's not always safe. So I usually shut down. I feel uncomfortable, and or I don't go at all, which sucks, but it's, you know, I'm protecting myself. This has been a summary of all of the other reasons. This is like the 10% of why I haven't dated a guy, all of that. That's that section. Let's talk about the 90%, because it's really not something that I enjoy talking about because of the response it typically gets. And yeah, my experiences with men have made me afraid of them, which I know sounds absurd given that I am a man, but that's the truth. Like I said before, I don't frequent gay bars, gay clubs, or queer spaces. I don't really go to those places because yes, I am protecting myself for my sobriety's sake, but I'm also protecting myself for my safety's sake. The first gay club I ever went to, it was for New Year's Eve, when 2014 was changing to 2015. I was with some friends in Chicago, and we went to a gay club for New Year's, and it was gonna be so fun, and I was just so excited. It was gonna be so great. It's the first time I'd ever been. In the span of that night alone, I was harassed and or assaulted, 4 or 5 times that I recall. It was not a fun night for me, and I felt very unsafe. I felt targeted, and it wasn't something I enjoyed at all, really. That has generally been my experience with other men who are into men. Has been that. Like I said, it's not really something I talk about very often because it's not something I enjoy talking about, because it just sounds like me being like, oh, feel sorry for me, I've had bad experiences. But like, it's had an effect on how I view other men. It has. I generally don't trust them. I feel unsafe around them, and I feel on guard. And when you are naturally on guard, you're not really breaking those walls down, and building relationships and connecting with people is all about that. And it's just something I struggle with. What I described that happened in Chicago a couple years ago has happened many times when I go out, and it's just, it keeps me from going out. I have no desire to go out like that to a queer club or a gay club or anything like that, because it's just not something that I want to put myself into. This week I dealt with something new, and that was a guy harassing me while I was at work. Not while I was at work, but after the fact. He found me on the internet, and he sent me a very gross message, and it was something that made me want to vomit everywhere, just so I could avoid telling you specifically what the message said. And I posted actually a screenshot of the message on Twitter, and I eventually took it down, but after I posted it, I was met with obviously a lot of support and people saying, oh my gosh, that's awful, because of course it was. But I was also met with a cavalcade of people doing the not all men. Why are you ruling out a whole gender because of the actions of a few? And like, I hear you, I get you, logically, I'm there with you. I know that for a fact, I know that for sure, but my experiences have me afraid, and that's valid. and that's real, and I'm allowed to feel that. I don't like it, obviously. I feel like it's held me back in regards to coming out and living my truth and being authentically me and experiencing all the things that I could possibly experience. I do feel like I am missing out, but there's very real fear there that I gotta work through and get over. I don't know if there's any grand point about we need to be better as a community. I don't really have any other solutions. I just wanted to talk about this because it's something that's been relevant in my life this week. I often get accused of faking my bisexuality for attention on the internet, and they cite the fact that I've only dated women as a reason, and yeah, a woman has never made me feel that way. Has never made me feel like a target or that I'm fearing for my safety. A woman has never made me feel like that in my life, and basically that's the reason. That's why. And that's just like my experience. I feel a lot of bi people, specifically bi women, deal with objectification like all over the place, and women in general. But I wanted to just throw this out there. I don't know what to do moving forward, or a solution, or any point that I'm making with this video. I just wanted to share my feelings about it. I can already see so many negative comments, and I hope that that's just me catastrophizing, but yeah. I don't want to be afraid of men. I don't want to be. I'm attracted to so many of them. I would like to date a good amount, but I'm afraid, and I need to work on it, or I need to be exposed to positive forces in my life from the male gender. I think I need that. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. I love you guys a lot. Sorry I missed the last video. Life has been insane. I'm about to move. But yeah, I'm gonna get off here, and I will see you guys next time on Friday. Oh, hello, T. I forgot you were over there. It's too hot, and I'm sad about I want to drink you as I'm tired.